thousands of people were out on the streets of Sydney yesterday, very eager to see King Charles and Queen Camilla in what's being called the ideal ending to the royal tour of Australia. Now, just a few hours ago, they arrived in Samoa to an equally rapturous reception for a state visit. So we were just asking, do you think that the royals are the best representatives for Britain out there on the world stage? Do you support the royal family? OK, lots of you do.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, they're worldwide. There isn't anybody that doesn't know the royals, and I think they're a good. For me personally, you know, I'm quite a royalist, really. So I think they are. You know, I'm very proud of them for what they do and the way they do these tours and go around the world. And yeah, so for me, they are a great representation of us.
But they have had some controversy, Kelly, haven't they, on this tour?
Yeah.
In Australia, and people saying, we don't want you here. There was the stateswoman who kind of stormed that when the king was giving a speech, we just finished, saying, you're not our king, you're not my king. So, you know, not everybody is delighted to see them.
No.
What do you think? Do you think it's changing for the royal family now, that they have to accept that not everybody wants them to be monarch of their country?
I just think historically there's a past that came along with the royal family. Myself personally, I have respect for the royal family. I think what they do and uphold as an institution has taken a great toll on a lot of their lives. They've had to give their lives in this way, so I have respect for that and what they have given. But, you know, I think the tours, actually, when they get out there, it's one thing somebody telling you something. It's one thing having an advisor saying, this might happen. Not everybody might be into, you know, the royal family, you know, be prepared for this. But when you actually go and face it, a bit like when William and Catherine had that example having to happen to them in the Caribbean, when you're faced with it, it's a bit different, isn't it, when it's face on rather than want somebody actually saying something to you. So I think they're actually learning, you know, maybe this is how a certain demographic of people
Well, you think over centuries how the royal family behave, how people view the royal family, it's changing all the time, isn't it? And I think now, particularly with younger people, with social media and internet, there's not the mystery. People don't want them to be mysterious. They want to know about them. They want them to be visible.
Yeah, because they're celebrities now, aren't they? I mean, they're basically, you know, global, probably the biggest celebrities in the world. You know, everyone's heard of them. And I think, you know, I mean, it's a shame that it costs that much money. They have to be sent around the world to discover what's happening in the world. That would be one point I would make. But also, you know, I think that what happens often is that their presence eclipses the issues. And I think King Charles was actually an amazing Prince of Wales, and I thought he was incredibly campaigning, and he talked about things like climate change and
before anyone
organic
else was
farming. Before anybody else,
yeah.
People thought he was, you know, a nut job. And I think he did amazing work, and I think Queen Camilla looks fabulous, etc., etc. But actually, the reason that they're in Samoa over these few days is because there's a Commonwealth summit going on there where there's really big issues about climate change being discussed, about reparations for slavery, you know, and none of those issues are what we're seeing in the media. What we're seeing is, you know, the fact that one woman in the Australian Parliament shouted, "You're not my king." And so I sort of feel like, in a way, they become a distraction rather than a focus for Britain's image abroad. And maybe, dare I say, a little old-fashioned, you know, maybe an elected head of state would actually be a modern way to look at the world and might level us up and get rid of aristocracy.
You can't deny...
You
cannot deny the crowds who turned out for them. You cannot...
Yeah, no, absolutely.
You know,
and I mean...
Literally to get a glimpse, selfie, you know, holding their children.
Yeah, and as the king himself said, and I think the Queen Elizabeth before him, you know, it's for people to decide whether or not they want us to be head of state. And I totally agree with that. I'm not looking for, you know, the French Revolution or anything yet.